TG Geeks, episode 52, December 21st, 2015. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas movies. Hello and welcome to another webcast from tggeeks.com, where Ben and Keith, the Two Gay Geeks, talk about all aspects of geekdom and nerdery. Sci-fi, comics, film, horror, genre, you name it, we talk about it. I am Keith Lane, and we are coming to you from TG Squared Studios in lovely Phoenix, Arizona.
And I'm Ben Raggington, also coming to you from TG Squared Studios in Phoenix, and it is like the coldest state in the 48 states part of the nation, Arizona.
Not really.
Well, so the weather reports say.
Yeah, anyway. So we got kind of a special little ditty for you today, so we're going to get right to it. And this week, we have a couple of special guests with us to talk about Christmas, or rather holiday movies. We have none other than our good friend from Megapodzilla, Crazy Joe, and we also have Mrs. Crazy Joe, otherwise known as Christine. Welcome to our show.
Oh, thanks. It's such a pleasure to be back here on Slice of Sci-Fi.
You crazy wascal, you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Wait, I meant to say winging it.
Oh, that's even worse.
We're going to share this with Mike.
See, and here I am, just happy to be on TG Geeks.
Yeah,
so.
There you go. You don't even know what Slice of Sci-Fi is, do you?
I've heard stories.
Ah, yes.
The stories.
The stories, yes.
The stories, yes.
Yeah, and we'll let them stay stories, too.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we are all gathered here tonight because being that it's December and we're all feeling a little bit festive, we thought we'd talk about Christmas movies.
Yay, Christmas movies.
So, do you guys have like a library of Christmas movies that are always your go-to whenever the holidays come around?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Do you bring them out in a big stack and set them there and say, okay, we start from the top or whatever?
I'm looking at the stack right
Aha!
now.
Yeah. We have a stack, plus we have a whole library on iTunes.
On the Apple TV. I
Yeah,
know. It's
like,
just
oh my God.
ridiculous.
We have probably 50 films in our Christmas movie to watch list.
Yeah, it's pretty insane. So I figure we should just kind of like go down our list, and we're going to be starting with the movies that we generally watch the most and work down towards those we watch the least, and just kind of see where this all leads. And I have a funny feeling that we're going to be seeing some commonalities. In fact, I'd be surprised if we didn't.
Yes.
So starting things off are probably, and this is always our first movie because of the unique festive holiday nature that it has, and that's The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yes, that's always the first one we pull out and watch, because you can watch that anytime after Halloween, you know.
Even though it's called a Halloween film.
Exactly. So, do you guys watch that one? Is that one part of your...
Yeah, and we actually watched it at Halloween this year because it was the first time that Jackie, our 8-year-old, watched it. She had never seen it before.
Oh,
She's a
cool.
bit of a sensitive sort, so she scares very easily. So we waited until this year to show it to her, and she really enjoyed it.
Oh,
Oh,
cool.
good. Good, yes. I could see how maybe to some it is a little... It can be very intense for younger audiences. But yeah, that's one of our favorite go-to films. We find it very enjoyable. Joe, what are your thoughts about Nightmare Before Christmas?
I'm a fan. I have a running argument with one of my coworkers over whether this is a Halloween movie or a Christmas movie. And she swears up and down it's a Halloween movie. And I say, no, it's a Christmas movie because it starts out at Halloween.
Exactly.
And the whole rest of the movie is about him trying to put on Christmas and kidnap Santa Claus, and he's done with Halloween. He's through with Halloween, and Halloween doesn't rear its head again until the very end when he finally accepts who he is.
Exactly.
But the bulk of the movie is a Christmas film, and how can a movie with a song like "What's This" be anything but a Christmas movie?
What's this?
Exactly. It has such a wonderful Christmas feel. I would agree with you, but I hate to say this, you and I, Joe, and I think my husband agrees with me, and probably Christine as well, we stand in opposition to Tim Burton.
Really?
Yes.
He thinks it's a Halloween.
Tim Burton actually came out and said this is a Halloween film. It is
Really?
not a Christmas movie.
That's weird.
I know.
Well,
I thought it was very
I
odd.
saw his Planet of the Apes movie, so he's an idiot. So
Ah!
Well, I think the thing is that the whole point of the movie is, Jack is trying to understand Christmas, but he doesn't really. So he basically turns Christmas into another Halloween.
Yeah.
That wasn't his intention, but that's what ends up happening.
Right.
So I think that if you look at it from that angle, then yes, it's a Halloween movie.
Yeah,
but I will
I
also
suppose.
say that What's This number is one of the greatest Christmas musical numbers ever made.
Yeah.
So
It's great.
so I can see both sides of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I like to think of it. It's always the first one because it has the Halloween Christmas tie-in. But yeah, I prefer to watch this movie at Christmas time. And to be honest, here is my reason why I agree with you, Joe, and that is because Disneyland. When do they usually set the Haunted Mansion up? Do they do it right before Halloween, or do they do it just before Christmas?
Just
I
before
think they do
Halloween.
it in September.
Oh, bugger.
I think.
Yeah, it's the beginning of October when they start.
Okay, so they're going
When
for
they change it,
but
yeah.
they keep it all the way through Christmas, and they don't turn it back to the Haunted Mansion until New Year's.
Yeah. After
So
New Year's, actually.
yeah, after the New Year. So at the very least, it's a hybrid.
Yeah.
It's a bit of both.
It's a
at
bit
the
of both.
very least. So but it is.
So that makes it a Thanksgiving movie.
Yes, right. Or Veterans Day.
There you go.
Yeah, it's a Veterans Day movie, people.
There you go. Anyway, okay, so it's your turn. What's on your list of always go to first out of the bag?
The Rankin Bass Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Really?
Ah.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
That one is also on our list, and I think going back to my childhood, I believe that is the first Christmas show I actually remember.
Yeah.
That's when I was 5.
Oh God. And it's a what is it? A 28-minute short, and
It's not very long.
when I was a kid, I thought it was like 6 hours long.
Yeah.
It took forever.
How young were both of you when you first saw Rudolph?
Oh God, I have absolutely no idea. I can't remember a time not watching it, but
Same here.
Yeah.
From very young age. Now I was born in '76,
Yeah,
and I'm sure I watched it at least when I was 3 or 4 would have probably been the first time.
yeah. I don't. Let's see. When was that? That was released in
60s, I believe.
Yeah, very early 60s.
Yeah.
Yeah,
1964.
1964.
So I was 4 when
I was 3.
So I can't remember a time that I didn't watch it too. And then when I was 6, 7, 8 years old, like I said, it seemed like it was like 5 hours long. To watch the film.
It's funny you mentioned that. It really felt kind of epic to me, and I'd say that's a tribute to the storytelling.
Yeah. Because,
Very superior storytelling for what is a children's show. It's very well done, and I think that's why it stands up.
I remember watching watching it on TV.
Yeah.
And then when I got it on DVD, they had that extra added scene with the elves where you actually see the elf practice
Oh
that they just
yeah.
referenced in the television cut.
Right.
And I remember thinking to myself, oh,
The elf practice. Yeah.
That's cute. And yet now it feels like it was always there.
Yeah. I know we've watched it so many times.
I know.
With it now.
Yeah, I can't imagine the show without it.
Any comments from you, Joe, on Rudolph?
Yeah, well, bringing up the elf practice, I think one of the odd things about Rudolph is I love the special. It's a great special. The Bumble's my favorite character.
Oh,
but
yes, of course.
Santa Claus really comes across as a jerk.
Doesn't he?
does.
We
He
talk about
does.
this
Yeah.
every
He does.
year.
He treats the elves like crap when they're singing the song to him, and it's bad enough that the children reindeer and even some of the adult reindeer are picking on Rudolph for his nose, but then Santa's like, "Well, you can't be on my sleigh team."
He's
with
a
nose like
bigot.
that."
Yeah,
Yeah,
is.
exactly.
He's a
Big
freaking
time.
bigot. I know. It's a little offensive.
But that was the 60s, so you could offend everybody in
yeah, I
the
suppose
60s.
He
so.
also realizes the error of his ways at the end.
That is true. But you kind of think
Yeah, I
he's
guess he
all of them.
redeems himself.
yeah, but
so.
he's Santa Claus. He's supposed to be the teacher to one to let everybody
Well-
else know what they're doing wrong.
Very true.
Yeah, so that's kind of, oh well.
Anyway.
Anyway, yeah, that is still, even though it's got that huge flaw, it's still one of my favorites to
we
watch.
watch it every year.
So now, moving next on our list, and this one is a perennial favorite.
Oh yeah, we always have to watch this.
I always have to watch this one, and that is Scrooged with Bill Murray.
We were just watching that the other night.
Yeah, just the other night we had that on while we were wrapping stuff.
Yeah.
I saw it in the theater when it first came out because I'm largely just a huge fan of Carol Kane.
She is a scream.
She literally steals the movie. I even remember seeing Bill Murray being interviewed on David Letterman and talking about Carol Kane, and Murray says, I'm going to have to go back into the editing room and take some of her scenes out. She's getting more laughs than I am.
I love the line. Hit me with a toaster.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to slap them to get their attention. Yes, one of my favorites. I absolutely love that. What are some of the things about that movie that really strike with you?
Well, Bill Murray he's always funny. The TV specials at the beginning, the promos for the TV
God.
specials, like the night the reindeer died.
Yes.
Those are so funny. You know what? I would love to actually see the movie The Night the Reindeer Died.
Yeah.
If someone wants to make that, I would pay to see it.
It's Steve Majors, the $6 million man. You've been a good boy this year, Steve.
Lee.
Oh, Lee Majors. Steve Majors.
Steve Austin.
Steve Austin. There we go. Steve Majors.
Yeah. And I want to see that Cajun Christmas special.
Yeah.
I really like Scrooge because, so many times you see that story told
Yeah.
in very much in the, they're all in the old,
The traditional
English town, and it's all very much the same type of feel to it, but this just takes it and completely modernizes it and makes it just totally wacky, but it's
Yeah.
still the same story.
Exactly.
And I think that they really did a brilliant job with it, and it's just hilarious. It's so funny.
One of the things that every single time I watch it, I can't tell you, we've been together for 19 years, and we've watched it at least 19 times, and I saw it several times before. That right at the very end, when the kid says, "You forgot something," I just always tear up because it's such a beautiful moment.
Yeah. Kid finally he's able to speak for the first time, and
Yeah.
it's because of Bill Murray's character. I mean, it has its very poignant moments, but never at the expense of the humor or the other way around either. I mean, I think it's a very, very well done film. I'm very impressed with it.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, one personal favorite of mine. Yeah. Okay, your turn.
Well, if you don't mind me tangenting just for a moment,
Sure.
I'll try to keep it a brief tangent.
No problem.
I was going to say, for me, one of the big things is the Muppets. There's so many Muppets Christmas specials.
They're on my
and
list.
I don't have time to watch them all. And it's like a pick and choose because there's Muppet Family Christmas, which is my favorite. No, wait, I take that back. That is not my favorite. Christmas Eve on Sesame Street is my favorite.
Never saw
wow.
that one.
Oh, I love that so much. That was probably my favorite Christmas special growing up, and I still watch it every Christmas Eve. I So that one I always watch. Then there's Muppet Family Christmas. There's It's a Very Merry Muppet Christmas Movie. There's Christmas Letters to Santa, which is the one they did for NBC a few years ago, where Joe from The Flash is a singing postal worker in it. And there's Muppet Christmas Carol, which is probably my least favorite of the bunch, but I still like it.
Yeah.
So I always try to pick as many of those as I can watch.
Yeah.
We have there's one that we watch, and we've only watched it once, and it's not because it isn't very good, but because it absolutely makes me just break down sobbing, and that's the John Denver and the Muppets: A Christmas Together.
Yeah.
Because I'm a huge fan of John Denver. He was a very instrumental figure in my musical development, learning to play the guitar, learning to sing, because I just idolized John Denver. And I always found his passing, dying in the plane crash, it was just an enormous tragedy for me that he was taken from us far too soon. And yet, the special itself is delightful. It's just a joy to watch, all in all. But the part with John is, especially at one moment, he has this one time to just sing a song, and it's just him, and it kills me every time I watch it. And I've seen it twice. Once originally way back when, and then second time after Keith managed to put it onto our Apple TV, and both times
I found it.
Yeah, you found it. And actually, this last time when we watched it, it really ruined me. But it's a brilliant show. And I think the Muppets do a really good job, actually, at capturing. I don't know what it is, but they are very good at bringing something that is very unique to the Christmas spirit. One that I think is really beautiful. Enjoy a great deal.
No, the John Denver Christmas Together, I have vague recollections of that because it hasn't aired on TV in years, and it's not on DVD either. But isn't that the one where they all go camping together at Christmas?
No, that's a different one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I know there is one. I haven't seen that one. No, we don't have that one. But you're right. There is one where they do go camping, I think up in the Rockies for Christmas time. I don't remember the name of that one. Can't remember. I have to look that one up.
I'll see what I can't fix up for you.
Okay.
Yeah, I can definitely say it's not Christmas without the Muppets. So.
No, I agree. There's something, like I said, there's something really beautiful about Christmas and the Muppets. They really do seem to go hand in hand. And I'm going to make a point of trying to find that Sesame Street one, because that sounds really, really nice.
The basic premise is Oscar the Grouch on Christmas Eve says to Big Bird, Santa's not going to be able to get down the chimney because he's so fat. How's he going to get down the chimney? And Big Bird panics and thinks no one's going to get any presents. And he sends like Kermit the Frog and Snuffleupagus and Grover out to like try to find out how he's going to do it. And like Big Bird almost has a panic attack and actually like goes missing on Christmas Eve trying to figure out how Santa's going to do this. I love it. It's
what's the name of it?
Never grow tired of it.
What's the actual name of it?
Christmas Eve on Sesame Street, 1978, I believe.
Okay,
we will definitely look for that.
It is on DVD. I know that. It's probably streaming somewhere.
I'm sure it is. You can probably find it on Hulu or Netflix. Okay. Well, no, that is a very, very good choice. Thank you for bringing that one up. I'm really glad you did.
Yeah.
So now for our turn, one that was this one initially kind of snuck underneath the radar, but a friend of ours turned us on to it, and it's Prep and Landing by Disney.
Oh my God. I have so much love for Prep and Landing.
Isn't that just the greatest thing?
Well, actually, both of them.
Yeah, well, actually, there's three.
There's three. There's a little short, too. There's the Prep and Landing, and then there's...
the second one is the Secret List, I think it is.
Yeah, something.
And that's where...
short.
Yeah, that's where our two Prep and Landing guys need to get a present for, I think, Santa. And Mrs. Claus is voiced by Betty White. We have not seen that one yet.
Yeah, but we've seen...
I haven't seen that one either.
No.
Wait, is that the one where they have to break into Santa's office to get...
Yes.
Something?
That's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
That's
haven't
good
seen
stuff.
that. We haven't seen that one. We've seen the original Prep and Landing and then the Naughty versus Nice.
Yeah, the third one.
but not the,
Well,
not
how
the
come
little
I've
short.
seen it? It has to be on that DVD.
If it's on the DVD, maybe it's an extra. If it's a short, it's not a full half hour.
Well,
No.
both of these were given to us by a friend who got them through alternative means. So no, that's why we haven't seen the second one.
yeah.
Now,
If it was on the DVD, yeah.
I've
Let
never
me check because I have it somewhere over here.
I've never seen one.
We watched it just the other day, so it has to be handy.
Yeah, I've never seen the one with Betty White, but I have seen the original Prep and Landing and Naughty versus Nice, which is good. It's very entertaining, but I don't think it holds a candle to the original. The original was just like on another level. It was
Yeah, the original
Yeah.
is beautiful. It really is.
And we were actually at Phoenix Comic-Con Fan Fest here a couple of weeks ago. Morgan Shepherd was one of the guests, and he was talking about always playing the bad guys. And I brought up I asked a question. I said, well, let's go from the bad guys to the good guys and the time that you played Santa Claus. And then he started relating this story, and I'm sitting there kind of shaking my head with deer in the headlights and yeah,
Yeah, he talked about. Yeah, he was telling this whole
And
big
it's
story
like-
about
and
playing Santa
I
in
thought,
this
I don't remember
any
that.
of this that you're talking about.
But I was just sitting there shaking my head. And we talked to him later, and he said, oh, I forgot about the Prep and Landing. He was talking about Farewell, Mr. Kringle.
Which we just watched.
I haven't seen that.
It's a Hallmark movie.
Yes.
Oh, God, it's...
Operation Secret Santa is on disc 2 of the
we may,
set that
we may have to go actually
We'd have to
go
go
out
out
and
and
buy it.
Now, just so we can get that second one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's so good. It is by far the most tinsel.
It's so tinsel. All right.
Yes, we do love that one too.
Our favorite part around the house and my stepdaughter Jackie, our favorite part is when they have to rev the engines.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
in front of the engines and goes, yeah.
Yeah. The gags in it are hilarious.
Yeah, they are. They're really great.
It's a nice. I think it's one of the most refreshing takes on the whole Santa Claus world and the reindeer. I enjoy that one a great deal.
Yeah. So, what's next on your list?
Probably the don't judge us. The He-Man She-Ra Christmas special.
Oh,
Far out.
I haven't even seen that one.
No, tell us, please share.
Well, it's a classic.
I don't doubt it because I
And-
loved He-Man and She-Ra when I was a kid.
And I mean, how can you not love it? I mean, ultimately, the people on Eternia and Etheria learn about Christmas. They save 2 Earth kids, and Skeletor magically gets filled with the spirit of Christmas and does something good for a change.
Wow.
What's not to like?
It's got
Yeah.
the classic line where He-Man says to Skeletor, I think you're feeling the Christmas spirit, Skeletor. It makes you feel good. And Skeletor says, but I don't like to feel good. I like to feel evil.
I think Skeletor always had the greatest lines.
It's quality entertainment.
We're
I-
excited because we're meeting Alan Oppenheimer, who voiced Skeletor this year at RetroCon.
Oh,
Oh,
far out.
He was
Actually, he was at FanFest.
Yeah, we went to his panel,
Yeah.
and
Fantastic.
halfway through it.
I had no idea he did Skeletor.
Oh, yeah, Skeletor and Man-at-Arms and Merman on that show.
That was never really brought up when we were there in the panel. Interesting.
Yeah, that's fascinating.
Far out. Well, I'm glad you brought that one up. That's one we're going to
Yeah,
have to
we'll have to
add
look
to
for
our
that
list
one.
now.
Yeah.
So now next on our list, and this is another one that really snuck under the radar for a lot of
Yeah.
people.
And I never even heard of it, and I saw it somewhere, and I said, okay, we'll give it a try
Yeah, you found it, like on Usenet or something? I don't remember where you found it.
somewhere.
Somewhere. Alternative means. And it's a movie called Arthur Christmas.
Oh, I remember the trailers for that, but I never saw it.
I've heard about that one. I hear it's fantastic.
Oh my
It is
gosh.
but I've not seen
delightful.
it.
In fact, it was playing on one of the big TVs. We went to Costco in between the time that we talked to you, Joe, and then now we went to do our Costco run, and they had it playing on one of the big screen TVs. So
obviously it has some level of popularity,
yeah,
but still,
I had never even heard of it.
It feels like an underground movie.
Yeah,
and
but
yet the animation
great.
is just beautiful.
And the story is fabulous. It really is a great story.
And it's just all deals with this one guy named Arthur who works in the mailroom, and it's his father who is the current Santa Claus, and they pass the reins, so to speak. Who's ever going to be Santa Claus?
No spoilers.
No spoiler. No, I don't want to go too much, but they pass it down to the right the next person in line, so to speak. And it's about who is worthy to be the next Santa, and all the things that Arthur is such a good soul.
Yeah, and Santa is voiced by Jim Broadbent. He's wonderful.
It's a delightfully, it's a beautiful movie with a lot of humor, and it's a CGI film, so it's computer animated, and it's just one that I think everybody should get their hands on if they can, because it's just wonderful. It has some great gags in it.
The sentiment is great,
and the sentiment at the end is just it'll really,
it'll touch you.
It'll touch you if you've got an icy heart, or if you're just not feeling the Christmas spirit. That movie will put you in the mood.
Yep,
it's delightful.
So you have to check it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we definitely need to add that to the repertoire.
Yes. So you've come up with one that we hadn't heard about, and now we've come up with one that you haven't heard about.
Well, they've heard about it but never watched.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. So next,
I'm gonna have to throw one of my all-time favorites that I watch every year, and I've had the good fortune in the past 10 years of during the Christmas season seeing it on the big screen twice.
Oh.
Within the last decade, and that is 1984's classic Gremlins.
Oh, I hadn't even thought of that.
That is because that does take place at Christmas time.
Yeah, I'll put that at the bottom of our list of holiday movies. Yeah, because we have several movies that are not Christmas movies, but are holiday movies or around Christmas, etc.
Yeah, that's a delightful film. We have both Gremlins and Gremlins 2 on DVD. That's a wonderful film. What is it about that movie that makes it a go-to for this time of year?
It's just so Christmassy. Everything about the movie is Christmassy. Like, there's Christmas carols throughout the entire film. There's Gizmo was a Christmas present. The whole town is decorated for Christmas. It's a very Christmassy movie. And it's a classic, and it's so funny. I mean, you could watch that. I watch it over and over again. It always makes me laugh. It's a timeless classic. It really is. It's right up there. I know I'm just a twinge younger than you guys, but like the 80s decade for me is where all my childhood favorite movies came from, and Gremlins is right up there with Back to the Future, and right up there with The Never-Ending Story, and the Indiana Jones movies. These are the films I grew up on.
I agree.
Gremlins is so near and dear to my heart. Now, last year I found out that, and she still hasn't. I found out my wife has not seen Gremlins.
Oh my gosh!
I've seen it.
I thought you told me you hadn't last year. Didn't you say?
The second one.
I thought you said you hadn't seen the first one.
No,
okay.
I've seen the first
one.
one.
I misunderstood. I'm sorry.
Whoops. Yeah,
I didn't see the second one.
Oh, you should see the second one. It's great.
Have you seen the meme on that went around Facebook, and the one gremlin with the big red lips and and Yoda says, "Young I was, needed money I did."
Yes. Have you now we're tangenting. I'll try to make this quick. But have you seen the Key and Peele skit about how Gremlins 2 happened?
No. I love Key and Peele. Hadn't seen that.
You need to see it. It is so funny.
I imagine it's on YouTube.
They're sitting down to write Gremlins 2, and the studio sends a guy in who just starts coming out with the most outrageous ideas, and everyone in the room's like, these ideas are terrible. None of that's going in the movie. But everything he names is something that's actually in the movie.
Oh, great.
Far out. Okay. All right. Well, we're going to make this one the last of our holiday films because we still have a little bit of a list of the non-holiday. Well, let me say that the non-Christmassy but holiday favorites.
Yeah.
That we need to touch on.
Yeah, we'll talk about this one or these two.
These
and then,
two.
Then we'll name. Oh, gosh, there's so many on
What
this
you
list.
just want to run down the list?
Yeah, we'll
just rattle them off.
We'll just rattle off on the list and then go to the holiday movies and then if you guys have a whole list too, we can do that.
But the next on our list, it's a combo, and it's The Santa Claus, both 1 and 2 with Tim Allen.
Oh, I love those.
I've never seen them.
You haven't? Oh my
I
God!
I just showed the trailer to Jackie and Joe just tonight because I was like, you know what? I think Jackie's probably able to watch that at this point. So much fun.
Oh my gosh!
So much.
Both of them.
And I love the second one too, the Mrs. Claus.
Yes.
I think it's brilliant.
It's hilarious.
So much so that the entire time I watched Lost, I referred to her as Mrs. Claus the whole time.
Wow.
Of course. No, I love both of these movies. I think they have such wonderful sentiment. And there are two moments in the second one that really shine for me more than anything else. That's the faculty Christmas party.
Oh yeah.
Is such
no
a beautiful
spoilers.
moment. No, I'm not going to reveal what happens, but what ends up happening at the faculty Christmas party always puts just the biggest stupid smile on my face.
Yeah.
It's just so well done. And then later on in the film, there is a great physical gag with the reindeer Comet.
Oh my Lord!
Yeah, after he's ingested too much of a certain food.
Yep.
It to me,
yes.
And everything that kind of follows after that, there's just such wonderful physical comedy in that it just makes me cackle like an idiot every time I watch it. And that really says something about the movie. I mean, I can see this every year and still laugh like an idiot, or still cry.
They're so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, do you want to give one that's next on your list? I mean, we could talk for 4 hours here.
I know.
I know. I actually, while we've been talking, I opened up a Word doc and I started just writing them all down. And like, we could literally be here forever.
I know we could.
And that's why I said, we'll just go down the list of the ones that we
Yeah.
generally always watch. And we won't have to.
We'll just rattle them off. But
Yeah.
I figure it'd be nice to talk about the top 5 that we each have.
Yeah. Well, one of the ones that we did watch already this year was 'Twas the Night Before Christmas.
We have that. That's later on our list as well.
Now that one we haven't. It's not an always watch, but it does. We do watch it, routinely, probably every other year at least.
Yeah.
Now, Joe, you won a trivia on that this year, didn't you?
Yes, at my company holiday party this past week, one of the questions was in 'Twas the Night Before Christmas, the clock that Mr. Trundle makes, according to the song on the clock, what is calling Santa Santa? To which the answer is Christmas chimes.
Oh.
And then some guy at another table said, no, it's Christmas bells. And I said, no, it's Christmas chimes.
Yeah, it's Christmas chimes. Yeah. So on our list of the ones that we generally always watch, and we try to always get through them, is Christmas with the Cranks, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, White Christmas, Polar Express, and at least one of the Christmas carols, either George C. Scott, Albert Finney, Patrick Stewart, or Alistair Sim, one of them. And then Miracle on 34th Street.
The original.
And Vicar of Dibley, the Christmas lunch incident.
There's two.
And Merry Christmas.
And Merry Christmas. Yeah, Vicar of Dibley, a
They're
phenomenally
oh my gosh,
hilarious British TV series from long ago. And then let's see, we have Home Improvement, which was 'Twas the Night Before Chaos.
Yeah.
We have the TV Christmas specials we already talked about. We mentioned Rudolph, but it also includes Santa Claus is Coming to Town. As Keith mentioned, 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. And then one that a lot of people really don't know about, but Keith turned me onto this once, An American Christmas Carol with Henry Winkler. It's a very interesting.
Oh my God, so funny you should mention that. I just watched it Friday.
Wow.
Indeed.
And and I'll tell you, I heard about it back in the 90s when I was working at Suncoast Motion Picture Company during college. We had it, we carried it, and I thought to myself, the Fonz is Scrooge. This has to be laughable. And then I watched it the other day. It's on YouTube and it's on Amazon Prime, and I said, let me watch this. He gives a great performance.
Oh, he does. It's
He's
a fabulous
really good.
performance. Yeah.
He's a
I mean,
very,
he's
very
really
good
a
actor.
great actor.
Yes. He's a very underrated actor, I think. So that stands out too. And then we have The Year Without a Santa Claus, A Christmas Story, You'll Shoot Your Eye Out, Home Alone 1 and 2. And then we take a really weird turn, and then it was Mannheim Steamroller Live, because we actually caught the group Mannheim Steamroller that did all the Fresh Air CDs. We actually saw them here in Phoenix way back a number of years ago. And so we bought the DVD because we just really wanted to recapture that wonderful experience. And then It's a Wonderful Life, One Magic Christmas, A Christmas Together, Prancer 1989, Disney's A Christmas Carol, Ernest Saves Christmas, John Denver and the Muppets A Christmas Together, Muppets Christmas Carol, A Flintstones Christmas Carol, I'm sensing a theme, Bugs Bunny Looney Tune Christmas Tales, and finally, last and in my opinion, the most least, A Charlie Brown Christmas.
Yeah, we rarely ever watch that one because
I hate it.
He won't watch it.
Really?
I hate that show.
He hates
Oh my
Christmas
God.
time
that's a
is here.
I know everybody says I pull my hair out every time I watch it.
Oh man, I love that one. Now here's the funny thing. I'm going to tell you where you and my father differ. You had White Christmas on your list?
Yeah.
Yep.
My father used to say, it's not Christmas till you watch Charlie Brown Christmas. You have to watch that or it's not Christmas. And my dad hated White Christmas.
Really?
I will. Go ahead.
My dad passed away 3 years ago, and I'm very happy. Before he died, he used to go on a rant about how much he hated White Christmas all the time. And I got him on Megapodzilla. We put the mic in front of him and we made him go on his rant about why he hates White Christmas.
Really?
And I'm so happy I did that because he's gone now and I have it recorded.
Oh, that's
Wow.
far out.
So you can listen to it every year.
See, I'm very glad that you have your rant recorded, but I have to agree with Ben and Keith. I love White Christmas, and I am doing my due diligence like my mother did with me, and I'm trying my very best to turn Jackie on to musicals.
Oh,
So
yeah.
whenever we can, I try to show her a new one. So she's seen a couple, and so far the ones that she's seen she really liked. And I was like, oh, this year I should show her White Christmas because I think she would really love it, especially the number when Bing Crosby and Danny Kaye do the sisters number.
Oh yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah, hilarious.
She will probably
Sisters.
just love that.
It's such a great film, and my God, the dancing. Oh
Yeah.
wow.
And Vera Allen in that is amazing.
And did you know?
Well, Vera Allen, she's always amazing.
Yeah. Did you know that she didn't sing a word of that? That was Rosemary Clooney that sang both parts.
She sang Vera Allen's part.
I did not know that. I did not know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Vera couldn't sing, but she was an amazing dancer, and
Rosemary couldn't dance.
And Rosemary couldn't dance, but she was a great singer. And what amazed me watching Vera Allen's, every time she does that, every time she starts dancing, I'm like, yeah, her waist is as big as my leg.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
And she's amazing. Yeah, but for what it's worth, Joe, I will freely admit that I am in the minority. I'm happy to admit that a lot of people always say the same thing. It's not Christmas until A Charlie Brown Christmas is on.
Oh, we
and
forgot.
then it's Christmas time.
We forgot The Grinch Who Stole Christmas.
Oh my gosh, that's right. Grinch Who Stole Christmas. How could I forget that one?
How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Anyway.
Yes.
Animated only.
Yes.
Animated only.
Animated only with
Yeah.
Boris
Great.
Karloff doing the narration.
Oh, I hate that Jim Carrey one so much.
Loathe. Loathe. It's terrible.
I'll admit my dirty secret here. It has nothing to do with Christmas, but since you're in the extreme minority on Charlie Brown Christmas, I will let you in on my dirty secret. My friend Dave Perillo, occasional co-host of Megapodzilla. He and I are very much aware that we are the only two people on Earth who don't like The Princess Bride. So,
Indeed.
We have.
So
to,
I know
we
what
have.
it's like
I'm
to be
hanging up.
engaged.
I'm hanging up now.
I know. The fact that I married him anyway after finding this out is really kind of amazing because it is one of the best movies ever.
I happen to love
and
that movie.
I do not understand how somebody can hate that movie.
Oh well.
Hate might be a strong word. Just don't give a damn about would be a better word.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Okay then.
Well, I can accept that. I
All right.
can accept that.
So just quickly run down what's on the rest of your list.
So looking at what I'm sure that Joe has things to add to this, but I'll try to not mention ones that you already mentioned because several of them that you rattled off were on my list. But Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas.
Oh,
we
wow.
watched that this year.
Okay.
Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas, Mickey's Twice Upon a Christmas, Nestor the Long-Eared Christmas Donkey, and The Little Drummer Boy.
Oh, Little
yeah.
Drummer Boy, yes. Yeah. I remember seeing that as a kid and just crying my eyes out.
Yeah.
Such a beautiful that one is really beautiful, I have to admit, yes.
Yeah. So we have a few. Go ahead.
Oh, I just had a couple I wanted to add to that.
Oh, sure.
By all means.
I need to add Die Hard and Jingle All the Way.
Okay.
Those are two that Christine didn't mention that I have some serious love for. And other than that, I think we hit all the big ones.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's something that we're forgetting because
I'm
there's
sure,
so
yeah.
many. But
Yeah, there was, and then we have some non-Christmassy, but holiday that we like to watch at the holidays, and
Because there's something about them that resonate with Christmas time.
yeah,
Although one of them is debatable.
yeah, but there's Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone because it has a beautiful Christmas scene in it.
It does have a really nice Christmas scene, and that movie, I'm trying to think. I think it did come out around December, which is why it's always associated with Christmas time.
I'm fully on board with saying that that's a holiday Christmassy type of movie. I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
And ABC always runs it during their 21 Days of Christmas.
Yeah, and then there's Star Trek Generations.
That's the debatable one.
that one does have a Christmas scene.
That's why. I mean, that's why I call it debatable as to whether it's a non-Christmas holiday favorite, and that it should be maybe just one of the Christmas movies. I mean, the Christmas aspect of it is really relegated to the background. But it did come out in December, and it does have that really great Nexus Christmas scene in it. So that's it. I was kind of on the fence as to whether it should be considered a Christmas movie or not. And I decided to put it as a non-Christmas holiday favorite. But it is certainly there for that very reason. Now, the next one has nothing to do with Christmas, except the first of these movies did come out in December. And that is The Lord of the Rings. I don't know what it is about this, but I have to watch it every December. In fact, currently I'm in about 3/4 of the way through the Return of the King. At this point, I have it paused, and we'll get back to it probably on Monday when I'm back to work, because I usually play it on my computer when I'm working here at home. So that's another one that I love to go to. And then I'm going to save this last one for very, 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 very last. I want to wait for you guys to give your list before I bring up this last film, because I think it could be a good talking point. So do you have any?
Okay,
yeah.
So Rise of the Guardians is one of my favorites.
You know, we have never seen that, and yet the trailer looks great.
So good.
The trailer looks very good.
It's so good. And there is, I mean, obviously Santa is a major character in it, and they spend time at the North Pole. But there's also the Easter Bunny, there's Jack Frost, there's the Tooth Fairy, there's the Sandman. So there's other stuff going on. It's not all about Christmas. So I don't want to say it's a Christmas movie, but because Santa is in it, and because Jack Frost is kind of the main character, and he's, kind of, it's cold. So, that makes me think of it as more like a holiday kind of movie. But I love that movie so much.
Isn't Jack Frost voiced by Chris Pine?
Indeed, yes.
Okay, I know the one you're talking about. Yeah, we saw the trailer for that, and we in the theaters, and thought, interesting. We should check that out sometime, and we never did. Shame on us. But yes, now that you brought it up, we will definitely make an effort to try and get our hands on that one.
Yeah, I really like that one. And also sticking with Jack Frost as a central character is the Rankin Bass stop motion Jack Frost, where Jack Frost becomes a human for a short amount of time. So that's one. And Buddy Hackett, I believe, is the groundhog who's telling the story.
Yeah, so that's a little bit more of a Groundhog Day movie because of that. But yeah, absolutely.
Yes, but it's all in that kind of cold
Yeah.
holiday-ish type of a thing.
ABC does show it during the 30 Days of Christmas thing. So yeah.
Okay.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Yep.
Well, Christine, you should also throw another one of your favorites on there, Rudolph and Frosty's Christmas in July.
Yeah, but I
which
watched
you
that in
watch.
July.
You do watch that in July, but it's
What the heck is that?
It's where Rudolph and Frosty go to help.
Go to hell?
Oh,
sorry.
No, they go to help a friend of theirs so that become attractions at the circus in order to help them to raise money, because people will come to see Rudolph and Frosty. So they have these magic amulets so like Frosty and his family don't melt. And Ethel Merman is the one who runs the circus. So she does like a bunch of musical numbers and stuff.
We have to see it for
It's
her.
another Rankin Bass stop motion film.
Oh my Lord.
Yep.
Well, if it's got Ethel Merman, then it's a must go to. That's all there is to it.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And then along with that, for New Year's, there's Rudolph Shiny New Year.
Yes.
Which we watch every New Year's Eve.
Yes, I am familiar with that one. That would be a very good New Year's Eve show to watch. Have to remember that one. Okay, so we've gone through our list. Now, I want to throw this one out as, would this be considered, or will it become, a non-Christmas holiday favorite? Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens.
Well, I can honestly say it is the movie I've seen the most this Christmas season.
Gee, I wonder why.
Because I've seen it twice.
We've only seen it once.
We've been
Shame
busy.
on us.
I only saw it once too.
We've been busy. Haven't had time.
I had to take the babysitter to see it today because he was kind enough to watch the children's so week ago.
Is that a movie?
And of course, I didn't get to truly enjoy the movie because the entire time I kept checking my phone to see like if there was something wrong with the baby.
Oh dear!
Like, no, they might be trying to get a hold of me.
Oh dear! Well, see, now you have to see it again.
When they said, "Please silence your cell phone," she turned to me and said, "I will silence this cell phone, but I am not putting it away. And if anyone gives me any crap, they're going to hear about it."
There you go.
Probably beam them with a cell phone. Is this a movie that could become a holiday favorite because of people remembering that it came out at Christmas time?
It's possible. However, I gotta say it's hard. We don't want to get into the ins and outs of Star Wars right now because that's a whole other podcast. But it's hard for me to have too much disappointment with this movie because I really like it. But I think if there's one thing that kind of bugs me, it's that it didn't come out on Memorial Day weekend. It's the first Star Wars movie that didn't, and Star Wars is a Memorial Day movie.
That's
true. It always
true.
has been. And there's something about it that's just like, you don't want to look a gift horse in the mouth. I'm so happy we have this movie, and I'm so glad it was good.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I wish they'd hold off a few months and released it in the summer.
Yeah, they probably didn't want to wait too long, and then because and it wasn't ready this year, so it's kind of one of those interesting things. But I think that it's going to be just a popular movie all year round anyway. It might be one of those that kind of is associated with Christmas because it did come out at Christmas. But
yeah, I mean that's one of the reasons why I love to see Lord of the Rings at the holidays, because I remember the first time we watched it. I remember going to the theater. I remember having to bundle up a little bit because it was kind of cool outside. I mean, it's only Phoenix, please. Let's get real.
It was probably only 70 degrees.
Yeah, it was like 70 degrees outside. It's 7 o'clock at night. Big deal. Hey, it's below 80. That's a good reason to break out the parka.
It gets below
until this weekend. Which it got pretty cold this weekend, but until this weekend, I gotta say, we've been having a Phoenix winter here in Philadelphia, and I've been loving it.
Oh, so that's where our Phoenix winter went.
Yeah.
We've been pretty toasty.
Yeah. It's been in the 50s and 60s here.
No,
Wow.
it's been in the 30s and 40s here.
Yeah, it didn't.
Yeah, but today it dropped down into the 40s, and I think like right now it's probably in the 30s because it's late.
I think the high got.
But it is supposed to warm back up again. So I would like to thank El Nino for being strong this year and giving us some warm weather. Because I mean, I don't like the cold. I do like a white Christmas, but then I want the white to go away because I don't want to have to drive in the snow.
Right.
Yeah, Christmas is over, therefore the white can leave.
Exactly.
Get rid of the snow. I certainly can appreciate that. I think you're right that this movie is something that it will be enjoyed year round. I was just kind of wondering, given that it did come out this time of year, and like I said, with some of the movies that I did mention, they... especially Star Trek Generations and Lord of the Rings. I mean, because I remember them, I identify with them so strongly as coming out in the month of December. I think Harry Potter did as well, now that I think about it. Because I so identify with them coming out in the month of December that whether they have a strong Christmas message or not, I still have that association of the coldness outside, going to the theater when it's cold, then going to the theater, warming up, watching the movie, going back outside after the movie's over, having to bundle up and to go home. That I've got that connection that I've always reminded of that.
I know what you mean. And as you spoke those words, you shook loose a memory for me. I got to say, I don't watch this movie every December, but a movie I would put into that category, and it does have a Christmas scene, but Edward Scissorhands.
Oh,
I remember it
interesting,
came out around Christmas time, and there was one Christmas scene in the movie when the snow was coming down because he was sculpting the ice. But yeah, I definitely remember that from being the Christmas season and going out when it was cold, and I didn't think of it until you said those words, and it just jogged the memory.
Yeah. Interesting. So.
Yeah, that's
that's
those are kind of memories that I like.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think we've pretty much gone over our list. Just to kind of stay with our formula whenever we have guests. Joe, Christine. Well, let's start with you, Joe. If anybody wants to find out what you're doing or what Megapodzilla is doing, how can they do that?
Well, they could go to megapodzilla.com. They could check out the Facebook page, facebook.com/megapodzilla. And I think Megapodzilla is going to be taking a short hiatus. I just said on the last show, we're probably going to break until March and then come back for Batman versus Superman. Because as anyone who listens to Megapodzilla may know, I've been debating whether I should pull the plug on the show just because we have a new baby and it's hectic. I'm reluctant to do that, though, because I've put so much time into the show. So my solution is I've decided take a few months off and think about it.
There you go. I mean, we did that last year, and we took a long break, and then we took another break, and so then we started back up, but we don't have a new baby either.
No,
so.
No, but the break was
cat,
also the break was good though. It helped us to regroup and then come back re-energized. So no, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
So Christine, if anybody wants to find out how you and how your family's doing, are you in social media too?
Or do you want to share that?
I am. I am on Twitter at Chrissy Marie B. Although honestly, I have not had time to go out there and tweet anything in quite some time. But I am there, and I am also on Facebook as well,
where they can see lovely pictures of your beautiful family, especially Kira.
Yes, the newest edition. Yes.
How old is she?
We should point out that our last name, Fiore, in Italian means flower, and Kira's middle name is Noel. So we call her Kira Christmas Flower.
Wow, that's
beautiful.
Cute.
That is.
She's my little poinsettia.
Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So we thank you both, Crazy Joe and Christine, or Mrs. Crazy Joe. And we want to give our listeners a chance to give us their feedback on their Christmas movies. So anybody...
And Joe, you can't do that because you've already spoken.
Yeah, you've already spoken. So anybody...
Try to stop me. I could put on a brogue.
You bet.
Let me tell you about...
No, you can't.
The Bring Lloydie. Yeah.
Stop trying.
Yeah.
Oh,
We had this discussion.
back in Ireland, we would watch the Christmas movie.
Be
God.
careful. We have a fan who lives in Ireland, Claire O'Leary. She will
Well-
so call you out.
My accent is better than hers.
Oh, dear.
A little Scandinavian Irish there.
Cannot do accents.
Let me just say to Claire O'Leary that it's a running gag about how I have a complete inability to do accents. So I'm not actually thinking I'm doing a good Irish accent. I know I'm terrible.
So
Fair enough.
So if you are our listeners have any feedback or you want to share your Christmas movies with us, you can do that on our Facebook page or on our website, tggeeks.com, or you can call our listener feedback line at 469-TG-GEEKS, 469-844-3357. Thank you, everybody, for joining us, including Kira and Crazy Joe and Christine, for me and Ben
And me.
and me.
That's right. Thank you very much.
This is Gareth David Lloyd, Yanti from Torchwood, Solus from Dragon Age, and Jacob Fitz from I Am Alone, and you are listening to the Two Gay Geeks.
And you know what that means. Here are a few selected birthdays for December 21st through December 27th. December 21st, Samuel L. Jackson.
What are these snakes doing this podcast?
Yeah. Also, Frank Zappa and Jane Fonda on December 21st. December 22nd, Ralph Fiennes. Robin and Morris Gibb were both born on December 22nd. And Giacomo Puccini was born in 1858 on December 22nd. December 23rd, Vincent Sardi was born in 1885. Does that ring a bell to you?
As in Sardi's?
Yes, across the street from the Schubert Theater. We saw it.
Yeah, we saw it.
Couldn't afford to
That
go
was
in
it.
there. Couldn't afford to cross the street to be on the sidewalk.
Oh, God, no. That would have cost money.
Yeah. Also, December 24th, Ricky Martin, Howard Hughes, and Kit Carson. It's actually Christopher Carson. When I was growing up, I grew up with a guy whose name was Christopher, but everybody called him Kit. So I learned that from his parents.
I didn't know
Kit
that.
was a nickname for Christopher. So also December 25th, a bunch of birthdays.
Wow, a bunch of Christmas people.
Yep. Jimmy Buffett, Annie Lennox, Rod Serling, Ismail Merchant. Does that ring a bell?
Actually, no.
Ismail Merchant of Merchant Ivory Productions.
Ah.
Yes, they turned out a lot of really good art films. And CCH Pounder, also known as Mrs. F. Mrs. Frederick on Warehouse 13. Humphrey Bogart, Conrad Hilton, and Sir Isaac Newton, all born on December 25th.
Amazing.
December 26th, Kit Harington. And on December 27th, Marlene Dietrich and Louis Pasteur. So that's all for the birthdays today.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
It's a party and you're invited. I'm Tim Calloway, your host and keeper of the Mouse Castle Lounge, your weekly dose of news, commentary, and interviews from the world of Disney, served up with your favorite tasty beverage. Drop by and see us at themousecastle.com or just look for the Mouse Castle on Facebook. It's good times and great conversations about the house that Mickey built. By the way, did you know that Walt Disney's favorite drink was a Scotch Mist? I'm more of a martini man myself. We'll see you soon at the Mouse Castle Lounge.
Go give a listen to our good friend Tim over at the Mouse Castle Lounge. And now it's time for what? Feedback.
Yay! And we got a fair amount of feedback this week, starting with a friend of mine on Facebook named Tom Errol Gulbranson. And he's writing a comment. He sent in a comment regarding my review for Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens, which you can see at tggeeks.com. Ding. Anyway, thank you. Thank you very much.
Not on the ball here.
Anyway, he says, meh. The changes to Star Trek was cool, but the problem I see in this Star Wars is it's the exact same type reboot as Star Trek, reuse of the original trilogy, just slightly different. The reboot fad of movies is just getting overdone, and in the let's redo the original script, but just simply being slightly different. But I'm hoping something original will come out of the reboot. Reboot.
Reboot. I don't think it's a reboot.
Not a reboot.
I think it's just a continuation of the story.
It's a continuation. I mean, they're...
At least for me.
Yeah. As I said in my review, JJ simply took what I feel were a lot of the elements that worked in A New Hope specifically, and with a little bit of Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi thrown in. He just borrowed those elements, kind of jumbled them around a little bit, recombined them, and came up with this. Do I say it's a bad idea? Not necessarily, given the enormous popularity the movie's receiving, but that's just your opinion, and hey, Tom, I respect it. Not a problem. We're going to be having a deep geeking on that later on in a future episode, so we will discuss more about it then. And then also regarding my review, good friend Bill Hensley simply writes, great review, Ben. I'm looking forward to seeing this movie. Well, if my review can help people decide whether or not to see this movie, then hey, I'm happy.
Yay.
And then also, good friend Scott Linder writes, hi, I'm Scott Linder, and I completely agree with the spoiler-free review. Smiley face. Thank you, Scott. That put a big smiley face on my face as well. And then, regarding our article that we ran not too long ago about how the trailer for Star Trek Beyond has been released online.
Dear God.
Well, Scott Linder, again, writes, I am an avid Star Trek fan, probably more so than Star Wars. I like the J.J. Abrams movies. That said, WTF? Wouldn't be so bad, but what the hell is with destroying the Enterprise again? Once, fine. Twice, okay. 3 times? Starfleet would can Kirk in a hot stardate.
Mm-hmm.
And then friend Bill Hensley also had to comment, and he simply wrote this. Oh, that looks dreadful. Now, this one was from our good friend David Wagner. He did not direct this at us. He actually directed this to other good friend of the show, Mark Biaggi, but it was so funny I had to take it anyway. And he simply wrote, I know I'm in the minority, but I loved Into Darkness. This trailer, though, dang, what a chocolate mess. How did they jump the shark so fast?
Yeah.
Good question, and I kind of think that we'll be talking about that in the very, very near future. And now, to get a little bit meta here, regarding our episode 50 and the listener feedback in that episode where we were talking about the trailer for the Batman versus Superman. Everybody get that? From good friend Brian Arkle Weber. He writes, I have to admit, I don't understand how anyone could be intrigued by the new Man of Steel 2 We Meant to Do That trailer. Between it, the first official trailer, and the teaser, haven't we pretty much seen the whole movie at this point? As one of the internet reviewers I follow on Twitter pointed, and I apologize for forgetting which one, though I think it might have been one on the Isle of Rangoon guys. The second official trailer for Man of Steel 2 We Meant to Do That looks less like a trailer and more like one of those insert movies here in 3-minute videos you sometimes see while going around YouTube.
Yeah.
At this point, the only thing about this movie that hasn't been spoiled by the trailers is what Aquaman is up to. Somebody at Warner Brothers marketing division just completely ran out of F's to give.
Mm-hmm.
Also, who told Jesse Eisenberg that it was okay to play Lex Luthor as if he was the Joker or the Riddler? Thank you!
Yes.
Thank you, Brian, for nailing the bit about Jesse Eisenberg. That had been bugging me to no end, and you summed that one up just right. As for the rest of it, I'm gonna wait. I'm simply gonna wait. I will admit I liked the trailer. Could it be considered to be a Man of Steel 2? Well, it's very possible. We're just gonna have to wait and see. You make a good point though when you say we meant to do that. This will be interesting to see how they rationalize everything that happened in Man of Steel, at least in terms of how they rationalize the storytelling. But boy, did you nail it on Jesse Eisenberg. Man, I was just not happy with him playing Lex. And yeah, I think he'd be a good Riddler. There's something about him that I really like. I should also add that Brian did add a little footnote to his review or his comment when he says, "Apologies to Movie Bob for stealing his joke." And then also, from the same episode's listener feedback regarding Crazy Joe's comments about how Disney was pursuing a live-action remake of Winnie the Pooh, once again, Arkle comes out with, "Crazy Joe and I agree on very little. But when he said, 'Bring on Tron 3, all I can say to that is, amen, brother.'"
Yeah.
And
We want Tron 3.
yeah, we all want Tron 3 very much.
Absolutely.
So, and that's it for listener feedback.
That was a lot of listener feedback. Thank you. Thank you to everybody that gives us feedback of any kind on Facebook, on Twitter, on our website, and anywhere, even on our listener feedback line at 469-TG-GEEKS. It's 469-844-3357. We want to hear what you have on your mind. Please let us know.
Yes, the force is strong with the Two Gay Geeks webcast.
Okay, I got a couple of things we want to talk about. First up, and we did bring this up in the listener feedback, and that is the Star Trek trailer that was released online. And we had also posted a story about how the trailer was supposed to be attached to Star Wars when it came out. And so let's talk about this trailer first. Well, you heard some of the feedback that we gave on that. I mean, David Wagner called it a chocolate mess. Bill Hensley said it was dreadful.
It's like, what does it want to be? What is this? What is this nightmare?
I think of it as, what new fresh hell is this?
Exactly. It was interesting though that, you know, it was supposed to be attached to all of the Star Wars showings, and it around the country. It was only partially shown in front of Star Wars.
Yeah, a lot of theaters didn't have it. There were some that did, but there were a lot of theaters that didn't show it at all. And amidst all of the negative feedback, and it was just so. I mean, there were a few people here and there that liked it, but for the most part, I would easily say 90% of the people that saw it that I'm in contact with through social media all hated it.
And even Simon Pegg had to come out and do damage control on it.
Well, Simon Pegg didn't like it. George Takei didn't like it. They actually had him, somebody had him on camera as he was watching it. And at the end, he said, "This isn't Star Trek. They don't have the spirit of Star Trek in this trailer whatsoever." And you're right. Simon Pegg did not like it at all.
But he also did damage control
he did
at the same time.
He did some damage control, but what he said, I think, was pretty accurate. And this is something that Eugene Glover, my co-host on Fusion Patrol, had stated.
Fusion Patrol? What's that?
Yeah, it's just some other little thing that I've heard of that sometimes I appear on. Eugene had said that this was something that looked like it was marketed for Star Wars fans. And Simon sort of said the same thing, that this looked like something that the marketing team at Warner Brothers had put together. And he kept saying in his little interview that there is so much more to this movie than what the trailer has. There are so many more elements that really do resonate and have the true spirit of what Star Trek is all about. And Simon is a
then why
huge
didn't they
Trek
show
fan.
that? You know?
Well,
I mean,
Eugene,
who cares whether they marketed it for Star Wars fans? There's a lot of people that are Star
This-
Trek and Star Wars fans.
This is my big beef here. Now, there have been a lot of nerd on nerd rage that I have seen over the past years where you've got one group of fans versus another group of fans. And that is, well, it's really not based in a lot of reality. I think that's just some disgruntled or very bitter people trying to inflame a situation that barely exists. Because I would dare say that a lot, sure, maybe there are fans that like one over the other, but not one instead of the other.
right.
I mean, I admit I am a die-in-the-wool Star Trek fan. That doesn't mean that I don't love Star Wars. I love Star Wars a great deal. And there are other people that are the other way around. They love Star Wars just as much as I love Star Trek, and they enjoy Star Trek to some I mean, they enjoy it. They think it's okay. But to create this marketing gimmick where I think you're now trying to create this divisiveness.
It's just pandering.
Well, it is pandering to the audience that is attending Star Trek, but at the same time, you're kind of feeding the monster about how, well, Star Wars fans aren't like Star Trek fans. So let's feed the Star Wars fans something that we know that only they're going to like. Well, you're doing two things. One, you're providing a disservice to Star Trek fans, and two, you're providing a serious disservice to Star Wars fans by saying that they can't appreciate something that has a lot of philosophical and very deep moral meaning.
Yeah.
So I take really great exception to the Warner Brothers marketing team for coming up with something that I think really is going to do nothing more than just divide nerdom in half. And at the same time, you're really only hurting your final product.
Yeah. I mean, why would you turn something out? That doesn't make sense. You're just making people mad that are Star Trek fans, and then you're just giving fuel to the Star Wars versus Star Trek, and saying, why are they doing that? They're trying to make it like Star Wars.
Exactly.
So it's a lose-lose situation. Just make the trailer about the movie.
Absolutely. And the problem also, by trying to create a movie that you think Star Wars fans are going to like, you're also insulting the general intelligence of nerds everywhere. Hey, Warner Brothers team, I got a newsflash for you. Nerds in general are pretty clever and pretty much on the ball kind of people. So to come out with a trailer like this, you're sort of insulting their intelligence.
Did you watch Galaxy Quest?
Okay, yeah, I'll give you that.
I mean, people take their sci-fi series seriously. I mean, they to the point that they've got things mapped out, and you got to figure it out, even though it exists only in somebody's mind.
It kind of harkens back to something we talked about in, I believe it was our last episode, where you aren't giving your audience the credit that is their due.
Yeah.
And when you betray your audience, when you betray your fan base, they will desert you.
It's just something's wrong at Warner right now.
Well, Warner has always had this thing where they completely operate autonomously, one division from the other. Now,
true.
The marketing division, I have no idea how much they have to answer to in terms of their theatrical division versus their TV division, or does the marketing division completely operate autonomously as well? Are they able to just make whatever kind of trailer that they deem to be appropriate, regardless of whatever the heads of theater, the movies or the TV divisions have to say? I mean, that kind of raises a really good question.
Yeah.
I just would go on to say that I think the people who are marketing at Warner Brothers have absolutely no idea who they're dealing with, or actually, this wouldn't be Warner's. Actually, this is Paramount.
Is it? Paramount. Yeah, sorry.
Boy, did I get that one wrong. My bad.
Yeah. Well,
for all you fans who are screaming at us right now,
there is something wrong at Warner.
Well, there's something very wrong at Warner. What?
But there's something wrong at a lot of in the upper stratosphere of studios and networks, and it's just it as in any large company or big company, when you get to the top, they tend to be somewhat out of touch with whatever the customer and the people below them are all about. Unfortunately,
which kind of
just get so large.
Yeah, and we kind of saw something like that with Star Trek: The Motion Picture. I remember reading seeing interviews where, especially with Michael Eisner was involved, and there was somebody else who was also with Paramount at the time. Can't remember who it is right now. Jeffrey
Katzenberg?
No, is it Katzenberg? I think maybe it is. Maybe it is Jeffrey Katzenberg. How when Star Wars came out in '77, there was obviously it just took the movie world by storm. We're going to talk about that in a few moments. Paramount thought, well, what do we have? We got to be able to come up with something to capitalize on this insane Star Wars craze. And somebody kind of whispered, hey, we've got this thing called Star Trek. Okay, great. So somebody thought that they could market Star Trek to be the next Star Wars, which was a bad idea. Instead, they at least tried to create a series of movies that best adhered to the initial vision that Gene Roddenberry had, to come up with something that really dealt with the spirit of Trek, the deep philosophies, the things that define us as a sentient race, and try to put that into the film. Whether it succeeded or failed or not is arguable. I mean, I personally love Star Trek: The Motion Picture. It's one of my favorite movies, but your mileage may vary. Be that as it may, at least when they tried to make Star Trek, they were not trying to do it at the behest of the marketing bigwigs, trying to create something that looked like something Star Wars fans would like. They tried to make something that they knew the Trek fans were... Well, not the Trek fans were like. I take that back. They tried to make something that was true to the spirit of Star Trek.
Right.
And that Star Wars fans would hopefully like.
And that's all you can do. And we did an interview earlier today. You got to be a good storyteller, and you got to be true to yourself. And
if you're being disingenuous, it's going to show.
Yep.
Now, I admit, when I saw the trailer, I was very, very upset. However, Simon Pegg did come out. I mean, he did co-write this script. So I listened to what he had to say. And yes, apparently this was a huge marketing blunder, which after Star Wars aired or premiered Thursday night, which is when we saw it, and it hit most theaters on Thursday nights instead of just on Friday, I went out and I started hitting on throughout all of social media, asking people, especially here in the Valley, but also in other places in the world, when you saw Star Wars, did you see the trailer for the new Star Trek film? Yep. And the majority of them said no.
Yeah, and Larry Nemechek asked the same thing on social media.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, he had asked that too, and it was about half and half.
That kind of says something, because I remember we were expecting it as we sat in the theater, and then after they aired the final trailer, there's this little graphic they like to show for Harkins Theater where we saw it, and ding, Harkins, at which point that's always the sign that the feature presentation is about to begin. And I remember I turned to you and I said, no Star Trek trailer. And you pointed out something that I thought was interesting.
What?
Well, you said maybe because they pulled it.
They may have pulled it because they got so much bad press.
Exactly.
About releasing the thing online.
Right.
So, yeah.
So I'm kind of wondering if maybe they pulled it back where they could. Have. I mean, it's hard to say. Right now, it seems very much like a lottery as to who got it and who didn't.
Yeah.
But the story that we ran really seemed to indicate that it was being attached to all prints of Star Trek, and boy, it certainly wasn't.
Yeah.
Or,
not for us, anyway.
I should say, Did I say Star Trek? All prints of Star Wars.
Yes.
My bad.
Star Trek, Star Wars. What's the difference?
Oh! Yeah.
Warning!
Yeah, adding fuel to the fire there, honey.
Yes.
So then let's talk about something kind of came out last week. It's just a little film that it's something I think it's a sci-fi.
Seventh part, was it?
Is this
Part
like
seven?
Part 7 of something?
Star Wars.
Star
maybe?
Wars. Could that be it? Oh my word! Is it back? Yes, it's back.
It is back.
And
we're not going to give any spoilers.
No. We're no spoilers.
We'll have an episode coming out on January the 4th where we're going to do our deep geeking on Star Wars.
We want to give
with a
everybody
special guest.
enough chance to have an opportunity to see this movie. But
we did want to comment on
the phenomenon,
the Star Wars cultural phenomenon that it has become. I mean, this film came out 40 years ago.
A New
40
Hope.
40 years ago.
What was originally just Star Wars.
Well, 38 years ago, but 40 years ago. It's amazing that you look, and what brought this home was you see these kids, they're 5 and 6 and 7 years old, and they are just so fanatical about Star Wars. And it's like, oh my God, my little brother was 7 when we saw it.
You didn't see this kind of insane fandom.
You did.
You did.
Insane fandom on anything.
Well, I mean, obviously we did when the first Star Wars movie came out. When it was just Star Wars, there was no Empire Strikes Back. It was just Star Wars. When that came out, I mean, that literally reshaped popular culture as we know it.
Right.
It crossed cultural boundaries like nothing we had ever seen.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the cultural phenomenon that just keeps going and going, and these kids, in fact, there was some guys behind us that were sitting there doing a podcast in the theater. They got told to stop, but it was interesting. They were doing a little podcast there, and they were not much. I know they did not see it in the theater.
Not when it first came out.
They were just, barely, maybe in their early 20s?
Early 20s. I would say there's a possibility that maybe they saw the special editions when they came out.
Yeah.
Some years back, many years back, before the prequel trilogy was even made. It's a possibility they might have seen those in the theater, although I'm finding that highly doubtful.
Yeah, it's really...
But
it boggles my mind that people are so for the original trilogy.
Especially,
I mean, it's like Darth Vader is the big bad guy. Obviously that's the original trilogy, and people are just crazy about it that are far younger than I am or you are.
I know, and
it's just it's a phenomenon that's unbelievable.
I mean, everywhere you turn, you can't help but see some kind of a news story. I mean, even on the web, you can go to like Yahoo and just go to their front page, and you can't help but see some kind of Star Wars news story. They're all over the place right now. You can't go into a toy store and not see some kind of Star Wars merchandise. And
for the last 40 years.
Well, yeah, but now it's insane.
Yeah, true.
Now it is like really insane.
It's on everything. It's on cereal. It's on batteries. It's on
macaroni and cheese.
For heaven's sake!
I mean, we just did an episode with Technorama last week, and if you go to the YouTube page that Technorama is on, I mean, you'll see graphics. It's like Kraft macaroni and cheese, and they've got Star Wars characters on it,
and Pop-Tarts and
cereal. Pop-Tarts and cereal. I mean, it's like crazy the way people are embracing Star Wars again. Now, I want to do a comparison and contrast. The last time we even saw a bump in Star Wars excitement was the build-up to The Phantom Menace.
Yep.
And that movie came out. I remember we bought advance tickets. There was a huge advance ticket sale for that movie. And we saw one of the first showings. It was a matinee showing that day. And what happened after that? Nothing.
Oh, where's my crickets? I have crickets somewhere.
You have crickets.
Where's my crickets?
Your
Where's my crickets?
You've lost your crickets?
I've lost my crickets.
Oh, no.
Where's my crickets? There's my crickets. A little too late, huh?
Yeah, well. Better late than never. But it was just silence. There was not this continued excitement. Yes, the movie continued to do well in the box office for several weeks, but it felt like that the original build-up just deflated.
Right.
In the most amazing way.
Well, it had become a marketing tool, so a marketing
Well, I think it's kind of more than just that. I mean, and I like, again, as you said, we don't want to go too deep geeking on this. I think it might have a lot to do with the way the movie, what that movie was, what the entire prequel trilogy was. And there's been a lot of people that have been just really down on the prequel trilogy. And then, of course, there were some people that were very, very down when they heard that J.J. was going to be doing this film. But as I had been reminded, Crazy Joe reminded me of this, and he was absolutely right. J.J. Abrams is a huge Star Wars fan, so he knew that he was going to make a movie that the fans would love.
Or he would be forever known as Jar Jar Abrams.
Oh, he would be known as Jar Jar Abrams. That's absolutely right. And what we're seeing happen now is very reminiscent of 1977, where people I know are seeing it for a third, fourth, fifth time. I mean, and the movie's only been out since Thursday night, and people are just running back to see it again and again and again.
Unfortunately, we haven't had time.
No, we haven't had time. We have a show to do, but we will see it again. I very much want to see it again. But what's fascinating is how there is still this excitement.
Yeah,
I mean, that you keep seeing on the news. People are still talking about this show, about this movie, about what it represents. And people are already making these wild speculations about what episode 8 could be or what episode 9 could be. We didn't get that with Phantom Menace. We did get that when the first Star Wars movie came out.
Yeah, and we knew that there was a second one.
We knew there was going to be another movie because we saw Darth Vader get knocked off into deep space, and everybody's wondering, oh my God, Darth Vader has got to come back. What's going to happen? Is he going to fight Luke? I mean, there was this craze, insanity for the movie, and merchandise just went through the roof. And right now, merchandising again is going through the roof. Yep. I guarantee the hottest Christmas toy this year, BB-8.
Yep.
Absolutely no doubt. I've already got friends on social media who have purchased their BB-8s. Jared and Michael Rose, I'm talking about you two guys. Yes, I've seen your BB-8. I'm jealous. I didn't get one when I should have.
Yeah, for $49.
Yeah, for $49 when I could have bought it way, way, way back. My bad. But in any case, that's going to be the hot toy. It's in addition to anything else that is part of this film. And I will say this, when Disney's marketing team is on the ball, and they can be from time to time, they can really market and merchandise something brilliantly. And I have got to believe that the merchandising department at Disney is really working around the clock to make sure that they can come up with something that's going to be just desirable for fans with lots of money and desirable for kids who just simply want to buy something with their pocket allowance.
Yeah, we got to see a lot of it when we were at Disneyland at Thanksgiving. So
I saw things that
there was the Stormtrooper
There's an actual Stormtrooper
get up for what was it, $5,000?
Yeah, it was like $5,000,
$15,000 or something crazy like that.
There was some insane artwork. There were some gorgeous models. I saw
some relatively inexpensive stuff.
Relatively inexpensive stuff. There was something I almost bought. I was so tempted. It was a desk lamp, but the pole in the lamp was that of a lightsaber.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
It was totally far out. It was for I want to say $79. I was so tempted. In the end, I decided not to get it because I really have no place to put it.
Yeah.
But what we're seeing, again, as I said, this is an echo of what Star Wars did. And it's kind of fun for me to watch this because I feel like I'm reliving my childhood in a really fun way again. This Star Wars fever, I mean, this really does remind me of what 1977, and actually it went longer than that. I mean, it stretched all the way into when Empire Strikes Back came out, and even into Return of the Jedi. That kind of fever, it never really died down. It was there all the time.
Yep.
It is so. I'm fascinated with what Star Wars is doing. I mean, we just saw a news story, and that's kind of what inspired this. We're watching television earlier today, and there was a news story about how there was this boy who has a terminal disease, and he got to go to one of the early showings of Star Wars and receive a special gift. And it just really kind of reminded you that, as you said, Star Wars is this touchstone.
It's this thing.
It's a cultural touchstone
Yep.
that has so become deeply embedded into popular culture that has just really spread out and become something that I think George Lucas never even possibly imagined it would turn into.
Yes, absolutely. So we got a few follow-up items that we want to cover, as always. Phoenix Comic-Con 2016. The website is live. There's hotels available for booking, and memberships are available at a discounted price until just after the first of the year. So keep checking phoenixcomiccon.com for updates.
Also want to give thanks to the Doctor Who Fan Cast Guide, also known as Doctor Who Talking Who on Twitter. And if you wish to read the Doctor Who Fancast Guide, all you have to do is follow them on Twitter at Talking Who. We will have the link in our show notes. And the same goes for the Arkle Times Post Dispatch News. Our good friend Brian Weber, he's the one who puts that out. And I believe he is known on Twitter as Talking Scald, I believe. I'll have to double check that. But if you do wish to read the Arkle Times Post Dispatch News, just follow him on Twitter at Arkle, and we will also have that link on our show notes. And last, but by most certainly not the least, as always, a shout out to the Facebook group, The Gay Geek, for allowing us to post our episodes on their page. And their URL is facebook.com/groups/The Gay Geek, with special thanks to moderator Jeremiah Reeves, who is just an all-in-out really great, nerdy gay guy.
Up next time, we have an interview with award-winning director and producer Patricia Chica.
Great interview.
It was a great interview. We did it earlier today, but we already had something planned for Monday, or for today, so we'll get that out on December 27th, 8th,
8th, I think.
28th, yeah. Whatever, Monday after Christmas. Okay, that should do it for this episode of TG Geeks Webcast. Be sure to check out our article for this webcast episode. We've got several links on the page. And remember, you can comment on our Facebook page or our website, tggeeks.com, or you can leave us a voicemail at 469-TG-GEEKS. That is 469-844-3357. From TG Squared Studios, I am Keith Lane. Thanks for listening. I bid you peace.
Cheers.